red. All the way around it, the blue diamonds tip the red. Lovely. So your eyes on the speed as well, okay? Once your speed comes alive, shout, and then when it says 80 knots, you call 80 knots from me, okay? Brilliant, check my side. When it gets to VR, then you can pull back for the 15 degrees, okay? There you go, start pull back now. Nice and gently, there you go. Square up to the 15, hold it at the 15. We've got a positive rate of climb, so gear up. There's the gear coming up, and if you listen now, you'll hear the three wheels going up. So you're climbing through 800 feet, see here? So when it gets to 1,700 feet, you're going to lower the nose to 10 then, okay? So it climbs pretty quick, you're climbing at 3,000 feet a minute then. There you go. Ease it down to about 10, perfect. See your speed increasing now? Okay, on your left, so it's got the arrows going up. That arrow tells you where the speed's going to be in 10 seconds time. So as we pass the flap 5 seconds, we bring the flaps up. That just means you have 1,000 feet to go. And just keep climbing like that now all the way till we get. When it gets to about 2,900 feet, then start to lower the nose, okay? Or otherwise you go through 3,000 feet. So around 2,900 feet, start to lower the nose down to the first line in the blue. Nice and gently, nice and gently. All small little movements on this. There you go. Perfect. And then you just play around it a little bit so you can see there's 3,000 perfect. And just roll the wings level again. There you go. Lovely. Bang on. And just all you do now is you play with it until the speed settles down for you. So I have your speed here for you. Until the speed settles down and your altitude, and you're holding it perfectly just there now, which is lovely. But because we're a little bit fast, what we can do is we can hold the nose up a little bit, bring the power back a small bit. You see the speed starting to decrease now? That's it. Lovely. Now, what I'll do is I'll show you the trim, okay? You see the button in here, the trim button. So basically, I know if you let go of those controls now, the nose is going to want to fall down, okay? So that means we just need to trim it out a little bit. So I'm trimming it there with the button. And you let go of the pressure for a second. Now, see the way it more or less still wants to fall a little bit. There you go, have it now. And more or less flies perfectly level, but no. And that's not your autopilot, that's just the trim. So they're pretty stable, aren't they? Now, if you were to fly a Cessna or something like that, you just wouldn't take your hands off the controls, like you'd be on them all the time because it's too small, it's not as stable as this. But it's a beautiful aircraft to fly, and this is exactly the way the real one flies. And once you trim it out, it's lovely. So what we do is, right, that was a perfect takeoff out of Dublin. No different at all. Flaps come up, the gear comes up, locked. The only difference is you keep climbing away because you'll be going up to a higher height, that's all. That's the normal takeoff out of Dublin, but nearly all right there on a good day. Happy with that? Good. Right, so what we do is we'll make a turn out to the left, okay? So we're on a heading of 284 at the minute, okay? So I turn the heading boat to we're around 90 degrees to the left, okay? Now before we make the turn, we'll go for a heading of 190, but before we make the turn, I'll just show you, okay? You have to remember as well, you're still flying, it's not on autopilot, so when we go off in a minute, you have to get that back to 3,000, okay? Now do you see these lines here? Okay? Each of them is your bank, it's 10 degrees of bank, okay? So what we do is, do you ever hear of a standard rate turn or a rate 1 turn? So what we do is a standard turn is where the drinks don't spill basically in the back with people. So if you ever go on holidays and you feel the jet turning, that's what we call a standard turn. So what that means is that's 20, in this aircraft is about 27, 28 degrees, okay, of bank. So that means you need to, when we go to the left in a minute, the bottom triangle is going to come out to the right, okay? So there's 10, 20, 30. So get it in between the 10 and the 20 and the 30. It doesn't have to be bang on 27, thereabouts, alright? And your job is to hold that there, but you're also going to watch the altitude as well, okay? So you'll see, it's just a bit of playing with it, okay? I'll have your power on the engines, but you'll have the bank and stuff. So try and keep the 3,000 feet, keep the turn going, and then you're going to start to see this move around. Your job is to get onto a heading of 190, which is this way, okay? So you'll see it coming around, and then your job is to get that triangle in the groove, okay? It'll make more sense as we come around. You happy with that? Okay, so we'll do this one and then we'll do a really steep one to show you the difference, okay? So, you're the control, ready? 3, 2, 1. So nice and easy, nice and gently, start your turn to your left. Just remember, nice and gently, there you go, lovely, keep it going all the way around. And watch your altitude and your bank now at the same time, okay? Looking nice, there's 20 degrees. There's 22. 25, perfect. Hold it right there now, it's looking lovely. Your altitude is bang on, you're in 20 feet. see fellas in here that have commercial pilot's licenses that can't even hold it at them. Let's be honest with you, they'd be up and down. Lovely, perfect. Bang on 3,000 feet, 26 degrees. Ring Mr. O'Leary and ask him for a job, he'd be delighted. Lovely. So, to get the groove, in this little triangle in the groove. So, as you get close to it, anticipate it, be thinking about it, and start rolling your wings level, okay? Otherwise, you go flying through it again. That's it. I'm watching your altitude as well. Lovely. Brilliant. Perfect. I'm liking it, I must say, I'm liking it. Okay, I think you're well able for a steep tour. So what we'll do is, I'm going to turn the heading all the way around under 90 degrees, so I'm going to go back out over towards the coast, somewhere near Hope, somewhere in that direction, away from the mountains. Okay, so what we're going to do is, you're going to take it all the way around, and that passes the 30 degree mark, okay? No more than 35, make sense? And you'll hear the aircraft calling out bank angle to you, okay? Just to remind you. So, go on, in your own time, nice and gently, all the way around. That's it, hold back a little bit, lovely. Hold it right there. Now, as the more you turn in, the more you
bank angle, bank angle.
You hear it calling out bank angle to you? Yeah. That's to remind you that you're exceeding. It's still safe. It's still no problem flying, but the passengers wouldn't like it, and you'd be hearing them screaming, and the drinks would be spilling, and there'd be chaos in the back. But you could do it if you had to avoid another aircraft or something at the last second. You could do it. Lovely. So there's your heading again. Don't forget. So start to anticipate it because you have more bank on than the last time. So start to roll the wings level. Lovely. Brilliant. There you look out there. You can see Houghton Land Bay Island out there. You see them out there off the top. Very good. It's lovely. So what we'll do is we'll show you the autopilot. Not that you need it because you fly probably better than it. However, see the HDG button here, heading. So if you press that and press ALT and then AP engage, which is here. Basically now, your hands are off the controls and the autopilot is flying the aircraft. So see the way it says AP to the left? It means you commanded the autopilot on, so it means you're in control of it. You've selected a heading to hold. It's holding the altitude that we set it at, which is 296 over, which you can hold fine. The only thing we're controlling is the speed still. Now you can control the speed as well, but we just don't. We leave it on. We leave manual speed here. So if you were to turn the whole turn out to the right, 180 degrees, okay? You're on a heading of 100 at the minute, okay? Can you see that there in the purple? So if I said you turn to heading 180, what way would you turn that? Clockwise, exactly. So turn all the way out to 180, and watch what the aircraft does then. It's programmed to take it to 26, 27 degrees and hold it just like you were doing manually, but no more. So you see it there now? It's holding around the 26, 27 degrees perfectly. And when you're flying the aircraft on the line with passengers, your job is just to set that. So you'd set 180 your side, I'd say yeah 180 on my side. We're turning the right way to the right. You check that your compass up here as well. And then all you do is to monitor it, that's all. You only have to take control of it if for some reason it does something you don't like, you know, but they very rarely go wrong. If you did need to take control, see the button in here? So press that once. That means the autopilot is disengaged. Press it again. That means you know it's disengaged, you've confirmed that, and then you're back in control of the aircraft again. Make sense? And that button is very important, I'll tell you why. Because a few years ago, I can't remember, probably about 20 years ago, there was a crew flying an MD-80, and that day you had an engineer sitting in the back, and they were flying, I can't remember the exact airport and stuff, but I know the story behind it. They were coming in to land or whatever it was, they had a problem, they went to put the gear down, and they got 2 green lights here, with 1 not green. And that meant, it means a multitude of things. Basically it means the gear probably didn't come down a lot, right? So what happened was they were going through checklists and everything, and that warning wasn't in it at that time. And they were going through checklists, and the captain was deciding what was wrong with the first officer. The captain told the first officer it could be a bulb, maybe the bulb is gone. So they were trying to get the bulb out, and the engineer was reaching in here, trying to explain. He couldn't reach with his hand, with his belt on, to try and explain to them how to get the bulb out. So the first officer was trying to get it out, and the captain said, "Come here, I'll do it," you know, this sort of thing, and leaned forward on the controls and just moved them that much to get in, and he got it out. And what no one realised was when he leaned forward and touched the controls that much, he knocked off the autopilot. So the aircraft started slowly descending down towards a mountain like what's in front of us, and everyone died. Nobody realised the autopilot was disconnected. So that's why that sound is in there now. You hear it the first time, it goes off, and then you acknowledge it. But it'll keep going off and off and off until you press that button again to say, "It's okay, I know I knocked it off," and then you're away again. Make sense? So they learn from all these mistakes. But what we'll do is we'll do another one while we're in the air before we go back and try landing. I'll show you the TCAS, okay? So did you ever hear that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, traffic collision system, okay? So this little box here is your transponder, okay? What that does is that talks to air traffic control basically. and to other planes. So every commercial plane has to have one, and we get it before we take off. We get our own code. Each plane is assigned a code, a different code every day, different flight. So air traffic control can see us. 7060 is us at the minute today, so they can see us on the radar. But let's say air traffic control made a mistake and they reduced. Everyone has 1,000 feet bubble around them basically. Let's say for some reason air traffic control messed up because they're only human, and they made a mistake. What's going to happen is the TCAS system is going to talk to the other aircraft. They're going to know that they're going to start coming within that 1,000 feet, and what happens is you get a warning. Now, I have no way of controlling it. It either tells us to climb or descend, okay? If it tells us to climb, you'll just have to trust me that the plane's going underneath us. If it tells us to descend, you'll see the plane coming above us. It's pretty cool, but it's just a computer. I have no way of controlling it. But what's going to happen is we're going to be flying along. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to put the plane, so you'll have to try and figure it out. But I'm going to put the plane somewhere on our course towards us at the same height as us. And what's going to happen is it's going to come up traffic. Traffic is what it's going to say. And it's going to come up yellow here somewhere on the screen, depending on where he is. I think it's a yellow diamond. Again, I'm always forgetting. It's either a yellow square, I think, yellow square at the start, and the yellow means it's a traffic advisory. So it just means there's traffic in your vicinity. You don't have to do anything. Okay? If he becomes a threat to us, it goes red, and that means we have to do something. And what it does, the beauty of it is, as soon as it goes red, it tells us to climb or descend. Okay? So do you see your VSI in here? So we're climbing at the minute now, 1,200 feet. But we'll sort that out in a second. But we're climbing. Okay? What's going to happen is we're going to go straight and level, and if we get a red bar going up here and a bit of green, that means we're going to have to climb. Your job is to get that bar into the green. Make sense? And if it tells us, if the red is down here and a bit of green down here, get it into the low is down. I'll bring the power back. So the idea basically is to get that bar into the green wherever it is and keep it there. Right? So if it tells us to climb, it'll tell him to descend. Make sense? Right. Since you know what you're doing, you're back in control. You level us back out. I'm pausing for this. You level us back out at about 3,000 feet. Nice and gentle on the controls here. Thank you. Nice and level, yeah? Cool. So keep doing what you do.
2,500.
The boss.
Traffic.
Here he is, right off our nose. Do you see him just above the mountain?
Yeah.
It's hard to see during the day, so watch now. See what it tells us to do. Now remember, the mountains are below us. If it tells us to descend, we have to remember the mountains are there as well, alright? So just lower the nose a small bit.
Monitor vertical speed.
So it says what's happening.
Climb.
So nice and gentle. Pull back, get the power in. Into the green band. So it's telling him to descend. And once we keep it within the green band, we'll be okay.
Clear of conflict.
There you go. Lovely. Then we can lower the nose back down, level back out now. Nice and gently. Back down. Lovely. No big hassle, is it? But it's a lifesaver. It can mean the life between life and death. Such a simple thing. And that's what the pilots get trained in here to do. We drill it into them from day one that they have to remember that they follow what that says. And that also knows, it's also programmed in with the computers. The computers know, if I put on the terrain there now, they know, terrain on. They know that there's mountains in front of us. It's not going up now, but yeah, it's there. They know that there's mountains in front of us, and they take that into account. That's why we got to climb, you know. Now you could get to descend, and if you got to descend, that's where you come in. If we got a descent and we started descending and we got too close to the mountains, we get what's called a ground proximity warning, EGBWS. That means that there's obviously ground below us, and then the opposite, the manoeuvre for that would be to climb, full power climb. But at that stage, we look past by them. You know, so there's protection in all the time. But on a clear day like this, you would just say this if you were practicing and remember the mountains, you know, because you might have to make a turn away, a steep turn away, you know. Cool. So you have any questions? You're an expert anyway, you know more than me. I'll give you the job here. Right, so what we'll do is we'll do a landing, okay? I'm going to set us back up 12 miles at Hout, well, coming in over Hout. And what we'll do is we'll do a landing. So do you know much about the ILS?